then we can fill in the rest of the room. As the season changes, we will have 50 to 100, sometimes even we have 200 people. But when we have a small group like this, it is very special also, because we can hear each other more clearly. And the whole reason for the Om choir is to bring down a pure music that has the power of transformation and transfiguration. So this is always a sacred meeting of souls who aspire to be instruments for the descent of this new music. Not to be singers, not to be professionals, nothing like that. Just simply instruments who will allow in their consciousness the presence of the divine to sing through them. There are, of course, many ways he can do this. He can sing one note, and some people may like to hold that one note, which we call the tonic, or the bass. And others can allow him to sing higher, lower, or many notes that we have within our beings. So we practice a little at first in the consciousness of the body. We are each in a body. We have each descended here in a form, and usually that descent has been in ignorance, because we don't remember our past lives. And so our whole life is negating or transforming the fate, some would call it chance, of those past lives into this new life that we are in. And it is very critical that we become more aware of the importance of this new life, because what we are promised, at least those of us who aspire for the new, is that this supramental world that was brought down by Sri Aurobindo and Mother can actually change us totally, and we can be the participants of stages that rise higher and higher towards the divine, eventually to be transformed into a higher body. Now, it doesn't matter how long that takes. We've already had more than 100,000 births to be here. More than 100,000. And so we do have a long past of evolving. So the Om choir gives us the possibility, actually for the first time, of uniting with every soul here. Uniting psychic being to psychic being, consciousness to consciousness, love with love, unity with unity. I've spoken before very briefly about these collective meditations, which are for some very good. But what Mother tells us is that most of the time, when one comes out of the meditation, one is one's own self again, old self again. So we want to make our offering here something truly new, allowing the divine presence to enter us not individually, but as a collective body. Big task, sure, but through music is the one way we can do it, because we are all open, or aspire to be open, to this descending force that contains within it this transformative music. Some of us have a good voice, some of us have no voice. It doesn't matter. So we'll begin with aspiring to open the body consciousness to sound. Yes, you've got good low tones. Please use them. That was an octave lower than what we were singing. Can you do it for me? I don't even have it anymore. Hardly can scratch it out. But it's very, very important that we focus on the divine presence sent down by the Mother to help us become sincere, aware, and aspiring for this new music. Now, did anyone hear another tone? You heard another tone? No, there was another tone over there. And it was a nice tone. It was, and we were singing. We were singing a perfect fourth above that note. Now that's beautiful in the old choir, a little more challenging here. So let's start with our first exercise. Ma, 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 ma. Capture the note in your ear, and then with your mind replicate it. Ma, 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 and of course, since it's an A vowel, which is the widest open vowel that we could sing. I just listened to Pavarotti the other day talking about the closed sound. And the closed sound is very important because if we don't use it, we get into ah. And when we go higher and higher in our range, we have to take more care to use the diaphragm. So we take a deep breath through the nose, and then anything I didn't see you doing it. Maybe it's your shirt. Can you tighten your shirt a little bit? Yes, but it has to be much more. Like, yeah, now you heard it. 3 times as loud as when you begin. With no more effort. Okay? All the effort is in the diaphragm. So, ma, 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 ma. Not bad. But as I was saying, when Pavarotti was teaching about the covered sound, it has to be not ma, 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 You can't fall asleep when I stop because I'm an old man now and don't have the breath power that all of you have. Ma, 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 ma. Can you hear that a few people still don't quite have it? I heard that one. So, how to cover the note? Well, we have to form the lips very carefully. And the key is using the diaphragm. Using the diaphragm and not the 2 vocal cords. Ma, ma, There's another way also. If you can focus here in the mask of the face and say, ma, pop your lips, ma, 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 but really, ma, 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 yes, 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 ma. Okay, now let's try the same thing with the exercise. Ma, 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 ma. Okay, it was better, but there's still some. Can we get rid of that? Stronger. Better. Okay, let's try the exercise. Ma, ma, ma. Ma, ma, ma. Now you're going to see how important this is as we get higher. Ma, ma, some of us are losing it. We're not using the diaphragm. Ma, ma, okay, who can sing this note with me? Ma, not too high. Ma, ma. Oh, we're all on that note. So let's go a little bit lower because some of you have lower voices. So good. How many of you have seen an opera singer on TV or any place else?
Yeah.
Not many?
Yeah.
Some, okay. How far do they open their mouth? Ah, you got it. And that's what we have to do. We cannot contain that sound or block it with the tongue. So the tip of the tongue has to lie gently on the back of the lower teeth. Ah. So, three fingers is what my teacher taught me. Three fingers.
She asked.
Three. Ma. Ma. Excellent. Only one of you didn't have it. That was perfect. And it was twice as loud as we've been singing, with no more effort. So, we have a few more minutes, and we'll just run up the scale with no, 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 no. All cutting out on me. Oh, it does happen. I said, no is a very closed vowel. Very closed. So you have to form your lips. Much better, much better. After all, it is the O of Om, the most sacred syllable of all the ages, which, as I've told you many times, Mother says, is the voice of the Lord. Om is the voice of the Lord. And we have to keep that in our consciousness. Pure, sacred, contained. So we'll begin now with our Oms. Just a few notes. One is to keep the Om as perfect as possible. Number two, there are no wrong notes. Number three, we leave the ego outside and we leave the mind outside. The mind has no capacity to judge the Oms. And if I could say something more, is that just feel open to the presence and let it sing what it will through you. It's not a music that people can judge. It's not a composed music by a great composer. It is simply a group of souls feeling a oneness. and a divine love. So I always ask for someone to give me a note, and then we begin. And at the end of the Om, if we can all be together and end together, that will be wonderful. It rarely happens. But at the end of the Om, I ask someone to quote a few lines from Savitri. How many of you are familiar with Savitri? Show of hands. Wonderful beginning. May I have a few lines from Savitri?
Of inspiration with the lightning feet, a sudden messenger from the all-seeing thoughts traversed the soundless corridors of his mind, bringing her rhythmic sense of living things. A music spoke, transcending mortal speech.
Music. A note. We had 3 notes the first time, and it worked so beautifully. So no hesitation, no shyness in the Om choir. A note. very often birds will come in, even sing with us when we are pure enough. A note, a few lines from Savitri. And please speak loudly.
Mother wisdom waits. Mother wisdom waits in nature's breast to pour the light of the heart of toil and want, and press perfection on life's stumbling powers. Impose heaven's sentience on the obscured abyss, and make dumb matter conscious of its God.
A note, There are moments of extraordinary beauty tonight. I hope you can feel them and take them into your heart and cherish them. We'll stand for the last hour, and I will ask you to extend it for some time, perhaps 2 or 3 minutes, if you still have the strength. I know that home choir does tire people at times with all the exercises, but let us try. She is the force, the inevitable word, the magnet of our difficult ascent, the sun from which we kindle all our suns, the light that leads from the unrealized vasts, the joy that beckons from the impossible.